What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and let's get into the charts. We're going to start out with the macro on Bitcoin. We're definitely going to be checking out the BNB chart and the XRP chart at the end of the video. You're not going to want to miss this, especially the XRP chart. We've been looking at that for a while, and I showed you guys areas to watch with it on the weekly. We're going to look at where that's at the end of the video, so definitely stick around for that. But before we begin, make sure you guys take 1 second out, smash that thumbs up, and let me know if you are bearish or bullish in the comments below. If you're bearish, press 1. If you are bullish, type 2. Anyways, let's get into it. So first, we're going to just take a look at the bigger time frames. We'll go on into the 4-hour and show you what I'm looking for. But like I've been showing you guys, as a possible 5-wave count here, with the 5th wave going to new lows this year. As you can see, this right here is the invalidation of this count. Now, if this count invalidates, doesn't mean that we're going to new all-time highs. That just invalidates this count. We have another count I'll show you in a little bit, but that's the low right here, the last low from the high, or the first low from the high, and that was right around 32.9, somewhere in that range, right? If we get above that, start opening and closing weeklies above it, then it is very possible that the bull market is or has started. I don't think it has yet. I'll show you why, but as you can see, these white lines here show you hidden bearish divergence on the weekly. Now, if we zoom into the yellow line right here, that is regular bearish divergence, right? That is a reversal of the trend, and the little trend here was up. I do believe we will continue to the downside, most likely. Now, let's take a look at another count here, looking at this as a falling wedge, right? That would be a 5-wave count, still getting down to our lows. Now, as I've said since December 2nd, 2021, I believe the bottom will be this year in September, October-ish. Could take a little bit longer. Either way, I still believe there will be new lows, and probably between 3,700 and 9,700. Now, I know a lot of people laugh at that. They laughed also when I told you guys that this top would be around 64,000. About 2 months before it happened, we counted this out, and I gave you the exact wave count to down here. I did not think we would go to new all-time highs, but even though we did, I told you guys right around 60,000 that we would be getting a big drop, which we got. And then, as I explained in that video, I'll leave it at the end of this video so you can look, that we would get a bear market rally, false bottom, get everyone super bullish again, do a 100% rally, which is exactly what we got, to more downside. Now, everybody's talking about a 100% rally. You think about that 100%, right? Well, we didn't even regain 50% of the drop yet. Just keep that in mind. People like to throw out the big numbers, but not the real numbers, right? The real numbers shows that we have not gained 50% of our drop back yet. Now, before we get into the 4-hour, there's a few things I want to go over, but definitely check out my sponsor, Prime XBT, by far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you like the scammy exchanges. You can use my promo code SAVVY50. That'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus to use towards your margin. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. Links down below in the description of the video. I'll also leave a tutorial at the end, but you can trade crypto, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, aluminum, all from one exchange, and you can have multiple trades. So if you want to hedge your trades, you can have longs and short at the same time. They don't clump them all together like the scammy exchanges. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. And this is another thing I want to show you right here before we go into the 4-hour, right? This video is from 5 months ago, almost 6 months now. You can see right here. This is where I talked about 31.5 being the high point that I would short the crap out of it. Now listen closely. But the measured move of this in the super bullish case scenario would be the measured move of the channel, bringing it up to where it broke out. That gets you to 31.5. If by chance Bitcoin does get up here, I will short the shit out of it. And that's exactly what I did. And I had my stops at 31.6. I got stopped out, but I re-entered my shorts at about 31.4 after the rejection at 31.8. So Obviously, it was 300 bucks off. Whoops, my bad. So far, that has been the top. Now we're going to take a look at the 4-hour, right? I showed you guys this smaller wave count. Now remember, in Elliott wave structures, there's waves within waves. This is the medium term wave, right? That would get us down for wave 3 to about 26.6, right in that range. Get a bounce back up maybe to this 27, 28 range before continuing down to our low on the 5th wave, right? Now that doesn't mean that that's it. We go straight to the moon. That's just 5-wave countdown. Probably get another ABC up or another kind of correction before continuing down, right? So looking at it in the 4-hour, what are our targets here? We were looking at this as a rising channel, as I'm not so sure that's valid anymore, but the measured move of that would be 27.5 to 27.6. But then we have this white trend line on the bottom, looking at this as a wedge, right? So a broadening wedge. We came back up, and if you guys watched my last video from last week, told you guys to watch for 29.580, right? We did wick above it just a hair, but we came back, got rejected on the bottom of this trend line. So if we move this trend line over now, so if we start opening and closing candles above 29.6, right? That's a 200 EMA on the 4-hour. Also this trend line, if we start opening and closing candles above that, then where do we look for a rejection after that? It would be this next top trend line around 30,000 to 30,100, somewhere in that range, if we get above this. But if we continue getting rejected here, I think we continue straight down from here. As long as we don't break this wave 2, right? As long as we don't break this wave 2, more downside will be coming, and that lies right around 30,400. So keep an eye on that area if we do break up. Nevertheless, I still think we are coming down to these lows. Just be careful out there, guys. I know everybody has been screaming bullish, crazy bullish, new all-time highs. But like I said, we talked about getting 100% rally from the false bottom for 2 years now. So we did get that so far. Have we topped out? Most likely. There is also, remember, right here, this first low from the high, from the all-time high, was 32.9. That is another point of rejection. If we do get a big spike up, that's where I'd be looking for the rejection, guys. So be careful out there. Let's take a look at the daily. Here's those lines here. So that first drop, 32.9 right here, that's major resistance area. If we do get a rally up, which is possible, not necessarily gonna happen, but it is possible if we do get that spike up to get everybody bullish again, get some more exit liquidity before coming down, right? So right now, this was the low before we had our all-time high, right? After our first drop here, that was around 32,836, and that is presently where we got support for this bounce. Once we break below this, that's most likely going to become our resistance level, and that could get pretty ugly. Let me show you, looking at this as a head and shoulders, right? Put this up here. Take a measured move of that drop. If we do drop below this trend line on the bottom, depending on where it broke, but let's say we break it over here at 29.4. If that happens, then the target is going to be around 18.2. It could get way worse than that. I'm looking for this 0.618 range, looking at it to retest this trend line here, about 21.7. Somewhere in these areas, we will get another big bounce, get everyone bullish again, get exit liquidity lined up before coming down. Nevertheless, I still see new lows coming, guys. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. This is not financial advice, but so far, nothing has really changed. We'll take a look at those charts in a minute. Let's take a look at BNB. So as you can see, this is FTX over here, the FTT coin, and look at BNB. We talked about this for a long time. Also, told you to watch for a rejection at 262.2 is exactly where we got rejected. I've not changed that. You can go back and check all my videos way back when. I also made a video on this about 5 months ago, or actually about 6 months ago, talking about all this happening. If we zoom in here and look at some measured moves, right? The first one being, if we break this 20 or 230 again, I'm looking for around 188. Once that breaks, 148. Best case scenario, I think, in my opinion, is 69, and then that be the bottom. But guys, it could get much, much worse. We could see this, so just be careful out there. XRP. So this is the weekly. right? I drew this in. I showed you this a couple weeks ago. If you go off of each one of these hyped pumps, that would get us back up to around $1 if this was to happen, right? Get a wick up here. But we've never closed a weekly or above this trend line here, right? Back here, it was at 277. Right here, it was at 156. But the weeklies always manage to close below this white trend line, right? So far, we have not been able to close a weekly above this trend line. Remember, if we do get a big spike, XRP puts some news out about something fabulous. Everybody gets in only to get shot down at $1 if that happens. But right here is what I'd watch for on the weekly until you get a open and close of a weekly, even a close of the weekly above this trend line, right? That would be bullish, but doesn't look like it's happening, guys. And if we take a trend line off of the bottom over here, that shows us getting down to about 25 cents. If we break that, it could get well below 10 cents. But I do believe we'll probably see the 25-cent range at least. I think there's a good chance it could get a lot worse than that. But hey, that's my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Also, just to show you guys, this is how bubble pop patterns work, right? They always return to where they began. This was Amazon. That would put Bitcoin back down into 37 and 97 range. This is Nintendo 30. That would also show you the bubble pop comes back to where it began after big rallies, right? Here's another one, Sony. Check it out. Came back to where it began. I do believe that is what's in store for Bitcoin, guys. Be careful. Again, check out these videos above. This one's from December 2nd, 2021, where I talked about this whole bubble pop pattern. The other one is your Prime XBT tutorial. Definitely check it out. Like I said, by far my favorite exchange. Yeah, that's it, guys. Make sure you smash the likes, and I will see you in the next video.